Hello, welcome to Palace of London Fan TV. Ali here, bringing you my match preview of the game at the Hawthorns between West Bromwich Albion and Crystal Palace. A massive game for the Eagles, but also a massive game for Roy Hodgson. Is this the game where question marks begin to arise over that narrative that Roy is the man to steer us safely through these times of coronavirus, that he ensures safety, which we very much need, with the financial ramifications of the loss of matchday revenue, the financial ramifications of relegation would be incredibly big and one we probably couldn't afford to have. But having said that, if we lose this game to West Brom, we are only 4 points clear of West Brom, who sit 18th in the Premier League table. Now, would that be the match that finally made the American investors sit up and think, we've got a problem here? Now, not a lot gets said about the American investors, but they seem to me quite happy to go along, not spend too much money in the transfer market, as long as we're treading water. But if we start sinking into that relegation dogfight, will they act? They did with Alan Pardew. Will they with Roy? I hope it doesn't come to that. Let's hope for a victory against West Brom. The swing barometer is massive, and such is the way of the Premier League table at the moment, that if we win, we go back towards a safer mid-table position. So let's get into it. Like I said, a big game. I'll be giving you my lineup for the game. I will also be giving you my player to watch from the West Brom point of view, and also my prediction. So who would I play in this game? Well, I would start Vincenzo Guaita in goal. First time I've had to think about that. Now, Jack Butland is waiting in the wings. He was pushing not so long ago to be England #1 before a big injury, and then obviously Stoke got relegated and he sort of dropped off the radar. And I don't think Vicente has been at his best form. However, I don't think Vicente is playing badly enough to get dropped. So I would stick with him for this one and maybe look ahead to that cup game away at Wolves. What a boring cup draw, by the way, to ease Butland in and see what he can do. Coming in at left back, I'm going to bring back Tyrick Mitchell. For me, PVA, that game against Newcastle showed all of his Achilles heels. I mean, he was caught out of possession, didn't track back quickly enough, and at fault at least for one of the goals. So PVA out for me. Tyrick Mitchell back in. And I don't actually think Tyrick Mitchell did anything to be dropped apart from be injured. He had a great start to the season. So I'd like to see Mitchell back in at left back. My centre-backs, I would go with Kiate. I'd bring him back into that central defence role. And I would have Cahill alongside him. I don't think you can play Cahill and Dan, as was proved against Newcastle. One of them has to go, and Dan was a bit dodgy on at least one of the goals as well. So that's my centre-back partnership. It will be Cahill and Kiate. And in at right back, still at right back, Nathaniel Klein. He has been the bright spark of the last two games. What a snip he's looking. Great to have him back. And for me, he's been playing really well. So that's a back four of Mitchell at left back, Klein at right back, Kiate and Cahill alongside him. Going into the midfield, I would have in the central midfield positions. Firstly, I'm bringing Jairo Riddlewell back in. Don't understand why he went out in the first place. And I would have alongside him the ever-present James McArthur. Right midfield, I would have Eze. And out on the left, I would have Schlupp. I'd go with Schlupp. I know some people were saying a bit question marks over that striker role he played, but for me, he played all right, and I like the way he was rotating with Eze. The problem was who they played just in front of Schlupp, but I would have Schlupp on the left, and I would have Eze on the right, because that allows Wilfried Zaha in that central role to rotate between the two, rotate and between the right and the left, float around, and I think that would bring great fluidity to the team. So Eze on the right, Schlupp on the left, Jairo Riddlewell and McArthur in the middle. Up front, as I've alluded to, Wilfried Zaha back, which is massive for us, in that central role. And in front of him, I would have Batshuayi. Now, interestingly, I did a poll on social media as to who the fans would want playing alongside Wilfried Zaha. Now, Batshuayi did win that with 43.9% of the vote. So 43.9% of you agreeing with me that Batshuayi should come back in. I think he's been unlucky. Yes, he does need to learn the offside rule. But I think once he gets one goal, he's going to go on a run for us. And we're better to start it at West Brom, who, as I have said, currently sit in the relegation places. Now, what was interesting about that is Jordan Ayew only got 7.6% of that vote, which shows how far he's dropped in the fans' eyes since being our player of the year last season, and also that wonderful day at the IMAX when he got the winner. What is also interesting is that 37.9% of you wanted Benteke in. Now, I'd have him on the bench alongside Andros Townsend, and I think there'd be an interesting pair to bring on, with Andros Townsend being arguably our best crosser of the ball in the squad, and Benteke, of course, being very good in the air. But that would be better than, of course, bringing Benteke on and taking Townsend off a minute later, which is what Roy Hodgson did, which, as I said in my review of that Newcastle game, defied all logic. So Benteke and Townsend may be waiting in the wings to come off the bench, but I think that is a team that can get us 3 points at West Brom. Let's hope so. It'll be interesting to see what Roy does. What would you do? If you disagree with any of my team selections, please let me know in the comments below. Player to watch from the West Brom point of view, Conor Gallagher. He was allegedly had a medical with us in the summer, but we decided to instead use our Chelsea loan on Batshuayi. Now, you question marks over that, considering Roy's not really using Batshuayi at the moment. And I was really excited about Gallagher coming. I heard good things from Swansea fans, and he seemed to be the central midfielder that we needed with an eye for a pass, although I did think Gyro really well stepped into that role very well until Roy dropped him. But it will be interesting to see him play against us, and he's been playing very well for West Brom, scoring the other week, and will he be one to come back and haunt us? Let's hope not. Prediction, I'm going to go 2-1 to Palace. I just think we'll have just about enough to get past West Brom. I think Wilford obviously being back is a massive factor, and I think we will move into those calmer waters of mid-table again. What do you think? What's your prediction? Who's your player to watch from West Brom? And as I've said, also, who would you pick? Who would be in your team for this one? As always, if you have liked what you've seen, please press the subscribe button and give me your comments in the comments section. I will see you on Sunday for my review. Let's hope we are feeling glad all over.